Alrighty folks, trying to get back on track with these new releases. And today we have out of Peru, Hyena, About Rock and Roll. These guys were formed in 2018. Now this is their first full-length album, but they have a ridiculous release history. I'm just going to read it off to you because there's no way I would remember all this. So like I said, they were formed in 2018. They released a demo in 2018. They released an EP and a split in 2019. They released a live EP in 2021. They released a single in 2022. They released a live album, a single, and 2 compilations in 2023. And then in 2024, they released a single, 2 splits, 2 more compilations. So now here we are in 2025 with the full-length debut. So this is a Dying Victims production release. So let me show the back of this first. Pretty cool album cover. Kind of bizarre name. Dying Victims production. What do we got here? Always comes with the Obi. You got Century, Lady Beast, and Venator on that one. And of course, they give you the sticker. And then, since I bought like 3 releases at a time, because shipping for Dying Victims production, if you're just getting 1 CD, pretty high. But I found that if you get like 3 new releases at once, that it kind of makes the shipping worthwhile. And trust me, Dying Victims production is putting out so many new releases, so many killer new releases. It wasn't hard to find 3 to get. So, and then since I got 3, they sent me this Dying Victims sticker. They also sent me this Aggressive Perfector sticker, which they also sent me when I ordered the Aggressive Perfector album last year, I believe. And then they sent me these flyers too. So I was going to show them because they have some festivals on here. And who knows, maybe some of you guys are close enough that you may not have heard of these festivals and you can go check them out. They got some pretty killer lineups. This is Metal and Hell Festival 2, Oberhausen, Germany. I can't even make out what that first name is. Dying Victims Attack, Volume 3. Mm, 12th of April 2025 in Turek Essen. Guess we missed that one. This other one's in November of 2025. Still time to get your tickets for that one. Battle Cry Fest. Oop, this one's coming up. Battle Cry Fest. We don't get kick-ass festivals like this in the U.S. Turek Essen, Germany also. Yeah. So that one's June 6th and 7th. So just around the corner. And then that's just some Dying Victim CDs on there. Trying to get me to buy more crap. Like I don't buy enough crap from them already. Alright, so let's get back to Hyena here. Well, let me show you the CD first. Here's that. Nice thick booklet. Dying Victims always does a good job with their packaging. Just lyrics in here. Lyrics. No band photo. Well, there's a band photo right there. Barely make them out in there. So yeah, like I said, they are from Peru. Pretty sure. Let me double check. I'd hate to say they were and they're not. I'm pretty sure they are. Yes, Peru. Peruvian heavy metal. Definitely some speed metal elements in here time to time. Album starts off with Night Riders. Good old school sounding production. Nice US power metal vibe on this one. And your next track is the title track, About Rock and Roll. Got some Judas Priest type riffing in here, maybe some late 70s, early 80s Judas Priest. Picking up a little Ron Keel in the vocals. Then your next track's The Eternal Zero. This is definitely mid 80s Priest riffs. Get some good tasty guitar soloing in here. He's in the first two tracks, he's used some hint of falsetto. His falsetto's in full voice on this track. He oscillates back and forth between falsetto and high-pitched screams, but they work well with the music. Your next track's Hail the Fire. Good speedy number here. We're picking up the pace on this one. Your first three tracks were, typical heavy metal, but we're picking up the pace here and getting into some speed metal type stuff. Very reminiscent of Skullfist on this one. You get some cool distortion on the guitar. This track's just under 3 minutes and it's balls to the wall the whole time. Epitome of Evil is your next one. Another speedy one. Lots of Metallica type riffing in this track. The guy's really stretching his vocal cords here. High pitched singing, piercing screams, good guitar harmonies. I always forget to read off the band members, which while I'm thinking about it, oh hell, I'm not gonna be able to read that. That's why I didn't read it, because the writing is so small. Let me hold it up. Maybe you guys can magnify it and read what it says. There at the very top. How am I supposed to read that? I got old man eyes. I can't read it. Then your next track's called Echoes of the Underworld. It's a good old school heavy metal instrumental. Good riffs. Sounds a little bit like a Diamond Head. Ferocious drumming throughout this track. Good guitar work throughout this track. I mean, this is a good old school instrumental. Chord changes, fully flushed out instrumental. It's 3 minutes 45 seconds. You don't get a whole lot of fully flushed out instrumentals anymore. This is a good flushed out track. Ready to Explode, your next one. Really good speed metal number. Definitely has hints of Enforcer written all over it. Metal Machines, your next track. Mid-paced number, but it's saved by some really vicious drum work on that one also. Drummer's very busy behind the kit on this album. Hyena is your next track, the eponymous track. It's got a lot of screams and screaming solos in this one. Shortest track on the album. They announced their presence. Hyena is here. They get in and get out. I think the track's about 2 minutes 45 seconds. And then your last track is called Keep It True. Was it named after the festival? Possibly. It's your typical heavy metal track. Very heavy on the Manowar lyrics on that one. As you can probably imagine with the title, like Keep It True. It does not reference the festival, but it does reference heavy metal and keeping it true. So very Man-O-War-ish on the lyrics. Really good album. I'd definitely be interested in hearing more from them. They have plenty to choose from. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Hyena. About rock and roll. I almost said around rock and roll. About rock and roll. Peruvian heavy / speed metal. 8 out of 10. You guys have a good one.